Let's park that for the time being. That's the president that needs to answer to that. South Africa at the moment, stage 6 rolling blackouts until further notice. Stage 7 and 8, is that what we're looking at this winter?
Well, I can't preclude that. So the point I'm making is that we're working very hard to lower those stages of load shedding.
But you should be able to predict it, Minister. You should know what your availability factor is. You should know what your demand forecast is, and therefore you should be able to predict how bad things are going to get.
Yeah, if you can allow me to map that scenario. So I was trying to answer the question. I said I can't preclude it. And why am I making that determination? So ESCOM does a winter outlook, and in terms of that, we are able to generate multiple scenarios. So the first scenario, which is the most optimistic scenario, is that your unplanned capability loss factor essentially is the unreliability of these units failing will be sitting at 15,000 megawatts. And the next scenario puts it at 16,000 megawatts. And the worst case scenario in terms of that projection puts it at 18,000 megawatts. And that if you are at the optimistic scenario, you'll be sitting anything between stage 4 and stage 5. And then as you go to the worst case scenario, then you are exceeding stage 6. So what is it that we have been doing, even outside these powers? Last week I was with our colleagues at Angerleg and Grootgelegt. These are the two units that provides what we call a peaking energy. So essentially when demands far exceed the generation, you run those plants to be able to close the gap so that you are not at higher stages of load shedding. But of course the issue with those two power stations and the peaking power stations is that then you must burn a lot of diesel. And that's why we make the case to National Treasury that in addition to this allocation, remember that what is factored in the 18% NERSA approved tariff increase is the 8 billion rand for ESCOM to procure diesel. In the 254 billion rand fiscal support, there's a 22 billion rand that is built in there for ESCOM to buy diesel. So put together is 30 billion rand. So in terms of this projection, you'll see that they are going to exhaust it. It's not going to be sufficient for the year. And that's why this ministry then said, we are going to cabinet to say, we think that going forward, because of the inability of generation to meet the supply, to meet demand, we think that there has to be additional allocation to close the gap so that you relieve it from higher stages of load shedding. If we are not running those plants, as I'm speaking to you now, we should be at higher stages of load shedding. And that's why you need to engage them so that you bring it to stage 6 and even lower. Of course, the other factor that needs to be attended to is the units that keep on failing and tripping. So that's the point that I'm making, Sakina.
And we haven't even hit the winter months as yet.
Yes.
Also, we cannot keep running on the open gas turbines cycles because firstly, the cost is exorbitant. You've said 30 billion rand already on diesel. From which period to which period is that?
Oh, the allocation is for the financial year.
For this financial year, the current financial year.
That's right. Yeah, but remember, so this is the point that I make when I engage in the public domain, and thanks for the platform, and is the point I'll be making at cabinet. So you are absolutely correct. 30 billion rand by any measure is a significant amount of money. Yes, you can use the word exorbitant, absolutely agree. But ask the question, what is the cost to the South African economy with regards to higher stages of load shedding? Well, just imagine now.
Should the South African economy have been here? Let me pause this conversation for a second as we go to the news.